My name is Josephine Miller, and I started my professional life as a librarian. Then I became a county judge, and during that time, I had the privilege of building a juvenile detention center and sitting on a juvenile board. I ended up my life doing economic development. In all of those areas where I worked, I was always aware that having good assets for children were going to make our future better. So when I got a time during retirement to volunteer for something, I picked CASA. I had been at one time a former foster mother, and I had some knowledge, up close and personal, of what stability in the life of a child can do for them in a good foster placement. So CASA has really been a valuable part of my current life, period, because I have been given five children. One has aged out, so I currently have 4 children, all siblings, and they are actually just an extension and part of my family now. Those kids, when I first met them in March of 2015, had not seen each other in 9 months, even though the policy of the department was that they should have been visiting together at once a month. When they first saw each other, and I was privileged to be there for that visit, you would have never thought that this was a bunch of kids in the CPS world. They were so happy to see each other. They were so loving and caring about each other. They were full of hugs and wonderful visits. So that visit was possible because that CPS worker had a CASA woman to help her bring some of those children together. You know, talking about being a CASA for B County, when I became the volunteer, it never occurred to me that I would spend some of my volunteer life driving around Texas. But last year, I clocked over 6,000 miles in visiting these children. I've been to Del Rio, I've been to McAllen, I've been to Houston, I've been to San Antonio, I've been to Victoria. I have been all over Texas, keeping up with these kids. So if that is a lot for me to do, think about what it's like for a CPS worker who doesn't have just 4 kids, who has 30, 35, 25 kids that they're supposed to make home visits for. I don't know how they manage, and I can understand why the department has a hard time keeping people employed. CASA is something that kind of shores up the CPS system, which is not a really well-working system at the moment. We have time to be the extra eyes and ears for these kids. If they have some special need that needs to be researched and a solution needs to be found, we have the time to do that. I'm going to give you an example. I have one child who had a great need for orthodontia work, but no one had ever been able to get that to happen because of various Medicare rules and the movement, etc. But when we applied for and got a court order that this child be given orthodontia work, we found a dentist that would accept that court order, take the Medicaid payment, and fix the 2 lapped over teeth that were protruding from the front of her mouth. And if you see that child today, her teeth are all in their right place, and she's got a shiny, bright smile with braces on her mouth. So that is the kind of thing that we can do just in one small incident. I also will tell you that we are stability for these kids. I have one child that has had a failed adoption, and after the failed adoption, she has moved 7 times. She is currently in a stable location. But CPS has talked to her about possibly moving. CASA is going to go to court and advocate that she not be moved again, that she be left in her one space to adjust to high school and to adjust to her living conditions as they currently are. These are the kind of things that maybe the CPS worker is not following policy, may not be able to give a different opinion to the judges. It gives them some kind of broader look, and I would hope a more rational look, and a look that has been arrived at with more research into the situation that is particular to that child. So if you're asking me if I think CASA is valuable, it's invaluable. It is incredibly important that if we can't get the state to really pay attention, even with federal lawsuits, to the situation of children that are in care, if we can't get the kind of drug and alcohol treatment that we need for the parents who are leaving these children alone and uncared for, and that is not going to happen immediately. It's something to work toward, but in the meantime, these volunteers can add stability to a system that actually is desperate for assistance and needs to be propped up. So I have enjoyed all my work with these kids. I wouldn't give them up for anything. If they get adopted, I've told them I'm still going to be in their life, that they can't get rid of me. It is really great to see them smile when I tell them that, because so many people have come in and out of their life. So many. And a CASA is forever. Thank you for this opportunity that I have to talk to you about this wonderful program.